Well, hello there and happy Friday, all you bless your hearters. Episode 12 is here.
How's everybody doing?
Doing good, man. How's everybody doing over on the other side of the table?
Oh, not too shabby.
Not too shabby at all.
Been a great week.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, just been a really, really good week.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a good week.
But I tell you, February is flying by. I mean,
Flying
it's
by.
like unbelievable.
What? I mean, we're sitting here on the 8th.
On the 8th already.
It's just flying by, man. But we do have an extra day in February this year.
That's great. It's leap year.
Leap year.
Leap year is the coolest thing ever. I'm going to maximize that extra day by doing, I'm sure, probably nothing.
So I saw that there was it was 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was a leap year. It was an election year. The 49ers and the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl, and we had COVID.
Whoa.
So it's a leap year. The Chiefs and the 49ers are in the Super Bowl.
We still have COVID.
It's an election
The
year.
gift that keeps giving.
And what are we going to have this year?
Yeah.
Malaria?
Well, maybe. Maybe.
But anyway, so I don't know. I thought it was
Typhoid.
It was a very interesting thing. Well, hey, everybody, we're glad that you all are here. February is Share the Love Month, man. We talked about a little bit Black History Month, and so we're really excited about that. Also, we have Share the Love because it's February, which has got Valentine's Day here.
It's the month of love.
The month of love. So please share the love. Send out all the information, share the channel, like, subscribe. We've got some new merch that is going to come out. That is a little bit of a teaser for you guys. We've got new logos and stuff. So super excited about that. So bring that on. But yeah, Valentine's Day. Let's talk about it, man. What do y'all do for Valentine's?
It's around the corner. I can't believe it's already Valentine's Day. Is it a meaningful holiday?
Next week.
Is it a meaningful holiday to you?
It's a meaningful holiday for restaurants.
Right,
and
right.
The chocolate
Supporting small business.
The chocolatiers
Yes.
out there. But no, for me and my wife, we don't celebrate Valentine's Day.
I wouldn't say that we celebrate Valentine's Day, but I think it's important.
I celebrate the love with my wife
Every day. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Every day.
But I would say I still like to get her flowers every year. You know, it's once a year. Mother's Day, of course, is there.
I'm saying if you're buying flowers, you're celebrating.
Yeah, I mean,
you're giving into the money that is spent on the holiday.
Look, I'm supporting small business.
Okay.
I'm going to stay with that.
What small business?
Well,
Publix and Kroger,
small restaurant.
Going and picking up the flowers.
You know, sometimes I try to go down to the little shop that's there on the square.
Okay, then you're supporting small business.
Get some flowers. I can't remember the name of it. It's terrible.
Cool.
Sportsman's or something like that. And then,
got it.
You know, go out to dinner. But we haven't done that the last few years. Kara she's not really big into all that.
Yeah.
She's not. She's just she wants my presence daily, and she's happy. So there you go. And I appreciate that.
Her present is your presence.
Correct.
I love it.
Correct.
Yeah,
but I do like the chocolates.
But here's so my wife, she hates flowers anyway. She's like, you're spending money and they are going to die.
That's true.
And so I'm like, I've always appreciated that. So I mean, but the little chocolates. Okay, so I don't know if there's an actual heart-shaped box of chocolates. Like my grandmother always loved the chocolate covered cherries. That was something. But I mean,
the cordials, those are good.
How many? Yeah. I'm curious. How many chocolates out of a little heart-shaped box? How many are actually good to you?
Oh, I mean, maybe 3. Like the chocolate with the with the dark chocolate on the inside.
Okay.
With the kind of milk chocolate covering is always a treat.
Yeah.
The ones with caramel are always good. But then you got like the peach and the raspberry and the blackberry, like the gel stuff. I mean that's got to go.
I want to know if there's anyone out there who has actually eaten the whole box of chocolate.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Some people love vanilla nougat.
But then they don't like the raspberry one. So it's like it's the bite and then the put back.
I think when I was a kid, I didn't care. But as I got older, I don't want that. No, nasty.
Like we get to the point now where it's like
gel.
it's not worth the calories.
No, it's
It's not worth the calories at all.
But I love, I'm always a aficionado of the Hershey Kisses, especially
Yeah,
with the
of course.
almonds in them or whatever.
Yeah.
And they put the little hearts on them. I mean, that's cool, whatever. But no, nothing major. We don't have any like big traditions. I mean, Valentine's Day is a great holiday. I think, again, to share your love and share the love. But I mean, we don't really have any real traditions. I don't think. I mean, we're both busy. We're both working. It's hard to, what is it, on a Wednesday this year? Break it down on a Wednesday. Hey,
break it down.
So, no, we don't really do that.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I don't get down on it at all. I mean, the one thing that we do as a couple is, and here's the real reason why we don't celebrate Valentine's Day, is because our engagement anniversary date is 1 week after Valentine's Day.
So you celebrate that?
We celebrate that.
Okay, that's cool.
And what's awesome is everything is cheaper.
That's true.
I do buy into it. I can go get the flowers that are still kind of wilted or whatever, and like it's still good.
I asked my wife to marry me on February the 15th of 1997.
February 15th?
Yes. So we were together. We were with friends. And I think she was anticipating me getting down on one knee on Valentine's Day.
So you were the day after Valentine's Day.
So Valentine's Day came.
I am 1 week. I'm the 21st.
Yep. And I already had the ring. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
And I thought about doing it on Valentine's Day, but I'm like, man, it's pretty cliched. I'm like, I don't really want to do that. So we spent the whole weekend together. We're actually up in Chattanooga. She lived up in Chattanooga at the time.
Right.
And then nothing happened on Saturday. And I could tell that she was a little bit upset, kind of like, well, anxious. What's going on? I thought this was going to happen. And then the 15th, this is a funny story. So last year we went back to Chattanooga, and our whole goal was to go back to the exact site where I asked her to marry me.
Yeah.
So we get to Chattanooga, and we think we remember the name of the place. We drive there. It wasn't the same place. I still don't know exactly where we were. It was like this place called Rainbow Falls. It was on the trail somewhere. I don't remember exactly.
That's hilarious.
But the next day we went out there and went on a little kind of hike and whatever else, and I just jumped down on a knee and asked her, and it was really cool. And it was really fun.
Yeah, we had my mom and dad's house. Like I had the ring in my pocket. I'd already bought it, and I had put the last down payment on it, and it was a Wednesday. And we were at church, and I had already talked to Jessica's brothers and her uncle. They're all pretty close. And they all said yes. And Jessica's dad was the pastor of the church at the time.
Yeah, big earn.
We had Wednesday night dinner. I just walked up to him at dinner, and I was like, hey, I need to talk to you, like, now. Because I had planned, like, I talked to my dad.
Not that you were already stressing. You were like, oh.
Yeah. And so I wanted to get on the roof. Well, I didn't want to get on the roof. My dad and I talked about it, and he goes, hey, man, what would be a really cool thing is if you came over to the house, and they had had some issues at
We're talking about the roof at your parents' place.
My parents' old place.
Yeah,
so
which was cool.
We
I've
know
been up there.
Which we no longer have because it burned to the ground.
Yeah.
But we had some problems with mom and dad's dish, and they were trying to go to cable and the whole nine at the same. And so, like, the wind would blow. You remember when it thought about raining and the dish would just go out?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
I love the dish.
Yeah, they had the same thing. Well, upstairs on the roof, I mean, you could get up there through the upstairs attic and get out on the roof. Well, that's where everything plugged in. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And Dad goes, this is best man in my wedding, Dad goes, hey, bro, I'll disconnect every coax cable to every dish, and all of the TVs will go like in the house. And you just come over and help fix it. And I'm like, okay, sounds great. So that was the whole deal. So we had planned this whole ordeal. So I called Jessica, and I'm like, hey,
you want to come over and help me repair some TVs?
That's exactly what happened. I was like, I know without a shadow of doubt Jessica's going to get on this roof.
And she's marriage material when she says, sure, be happy to help. Yeah.
Well, she actually said, I just sat down, and I just got out of the shower and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll be over here. I just really need your help. It'll take, 10 minutes. So she gets there. She comes in. TVs are just going nuts. Like, I mean, it's like the poltergeist, like Carol Ann. And so she comes
Exorcise
up.
the demons.
So she comes upstairs. She gets out there, and you have to go up You have to go up the roof, and then it goes back up this way.
Yep.
And the
And
reason
a pretty nice pitch to that roof too.
and the reason why, and I said I didn't want to get on the roof, but I did, because that is the first time that Jessica and I ever held hands was on that roof watching the 4th of July fireworks at Ackworth Beach and Legacy Park at the same time. So
That's very cool.
And so we always watch the fireworks up there. And so when she comes walking up, and then we go walking up, like there were candles and like rose petals and the whole nine. So it was like a whole ordeal.
It's like a bachelor scene.
Yeah,
like
my
this is
sister
super
and my
bachelor.
mom and dad, they're all down there and like on the porch. And I'm like, she said yes. And it was like a whole thing. But yeah, so we have no idea. I mean,
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. The only other Valentine's Day thing that we did is a funny story, which now apparently if you go online, you can like set reservations at this place.
Oh yeah,
Is Waffle House.
of course.
And I was the OG at one of these things, man, because I went by the Waffle House here in Kennesaw, and I went up with a tablecloth, with rose petals, with candles.
You did it up.
I went and I brought it to the person that was going to be there all night long. I said, look, I'm going to have her here at 7:30. If you could just take that table right there, and if you could just whatever. Well, I don't know if you know my wife, but my wife, I don't know how many of y'all are out there that just don't. This is the greatest advice ever given from an older gentleman, is you never ask your wife where she wants to go for dinner. You always ask the question of, guess where I'm taking you to dinner? And when they respond, you go, how did you know?
Amazing.
And then you take them there. Anyway, so there's no chance of being indecisive. Well, I so happen to have asked Jessica, where do you want to go for dinner tonight? And she goes, I have no idea. I don't know. Are we going to dress up? Are we not going to dress up? Are we going to do this? And I'm trying to like add these little hints of, let's just go to Blockbuster. That's how old we are. Let's go to Blockbuster, pick up some movies, go down and just do this thing. And she's like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, let's just go to Waffle House real quick. We were an hour late, bro, to the 7. And this lady kept that table there dressed up in the whole nine for over an hour.
Wow.
There were people waiting to eat, and she held it up.
That's awesome.
That lady got a pretty good tip. But anyway, now you can go online if anybody wants to go to Waffle House. Hashtag Waffle House. Waffle House is the greatest place in the entire world. Owned and operated by some Georgia Tech alums, from what I believe.
Well, yes, probably the greatest place in the world to some people. My wife
Don't like it?
No, God bless her. Being from New England, she is not a huge Waffle House fan. I mean, I've tried. I've introduced her to every kind of off item on the menu. Something maybe that's might be a little bit better. No, we have not spent a Valentine's Day at Waffle House.
Well,
nor will we. I don't think.
I'm not saying it's the best place ever for Valentine's Day. I'm saying it's just the best place ever.
I'm in total agreement.
Yeah.
I'm in total agreement.
So you can go ahead and just get your reservations if all of you guys out there have waited to the last moment. I think you could probably still make it happen.
Open 24 hours.
Open 24 hours a day. But yeah, so those are the traditions. Those are the things. Let us know what you guys do on Valentine's Day. We'd love to hear about it. We can talk about it next week.
What are your traditions?
How
do you spread the love?
Do you celebrate? Do you not celebrate? Do you not care? Does it not matter to you?
That's right.
Is it the most sacred tradition of all time for your love? No?
Maybe. Yeah. Could be. Different strokes for different folks.
Right.
Cupid doing his work.
Cupid doing his work. What is the greatest thing about Valentine's Day this year?
In my opinion,
yes, indeed.
The best thing about Valentine's Day is the fact that the Braves pitchers and catchers report for spring training.
Now reporting.
Let's go.
For duty.
So that means that we have baseball coming
right on
which
up.
I'm pretty excited about. I broke down my New Era hats, and we'll certainly talk about New Era later.
Yep.
But I definitely have more New Era hats that are the Braves
variety.
Than anything else. Yes.
The Braves variety.
So I'm a huge Braves fan. I'm excited about the new staff. I'm excited about seeing Chris Sale. I'm excited about Max Fried's kind of moving into maybe a kind of a free agency arbitration type scenario. So we need to see what kind of year he has to repay him. Some of the younger pitchers, I know Matzik's going to be back. A few of the other guys. So it's exciting time to see exactly what the Braves will have on the mound, because pitching last year is kind of what hurt us.
People ask how we run into each other all the time. And the reason why we started this whole podcast is because we wanted to be, we wanted to bless other people, and we're just Southern boys and the whole nine. And people ask us all the time, are we brothers and the whole nine? Mm-hmm. This is how in sync we are. We're wearing Braves hats today just for the sole purpose. And this is not a conversation we had.
Nope. Never do.
Never have the conversation.
It's almost like, if the Hawks, get a big win, or something's going on. Subconsciously we're like, well, we got
Gotta
to
wear
wear
the hat.
because
Yeah.
we have them all.
I know.
We have every single sports team.
Anyway.
I would argue just about every sports team that really
Matters
is of
to us.
importance in the Southeast. So
got
yeah,
it.
we got them all covered.
You got it.
But it's exciting. It's always a great time. Just to see what the Braves have. There's been a lot of discussion, obviously, about the kind of I wouldn't say the collapse, but the loss to the Phillies in the playoffs last year, and how it's still stinging those guys.
Yeah.
And then Major League Baseball just came out with their top 150 pitchers, and Spencer Strider is number one.
Yeah,
so
he is.
Strider being back, Morton being back, addition of Sale. It's a very exciting time.
It's going to be awesome, man.
We mentioned Tyler Flowers not being on the staff anymore last week. Kind of, oh well. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about what we got behind the plate too.
Valentine's Day flowers, no Tyler Flowers.
No Tyler Flowers.
No Tyler.
Not
No Tyler
anymore.
Flowers. No way.
And Jimmy's still not the greatest catcher of all time. Just
Not
letting you
even
know.
close.
No.
But
But anyway, that's great news. Happy to have Braves baseball coming back.
Yep. Let's continue through the sports segment. What we got going on with our Atlanta Hawks,
Well,
my guy.
there's just been a lot of smoke around this Dejounte Murray being traded. Now, last night, the Hawks played the Celtics,
Yep.
right? Which I would argue probably their biggest rival, if not, one of them. Certainly there's the Miami
We've
Heat
talked
and some
about
of the
this
others.
multiple times as to how much the Celtics own.
Correct.
us.
So guess what? We lost in the Boston, well, not the Boston Garden, and whatever it's called now. I know it's changed names several
Yeah.
times, but they lost the game in Boston last night, and Dejounte Murray came up with an injury, a back issue or an ankle problem, and he didn't play. Which today is the trade deadline, and it was a huge game last night. The Hawks kind of a little momentum; they're kind of winning a few games here and there. Needed to go in and put their best foot forward. Dejounte, their second best player, did not play. So what does that tell you? I think that tells you that he is on the block, and I'd be shocked. I've heard that Utah's coming after him with a decent package. Apparently, the Pelicans have come in late with a trade package that looks enticing. Because I know the Hawks are trying to pull back kind of what they gave to San Antonio, but to get it from another team. So I think they're looking at, 1 to 2 first-rounders or at least a couple of young players in a first-rounder for Dejounte. I mean, Dejounte is a great player. He scores 20 points a game. We'll see what happens. I think it's best that they trade him simply because he's Trae Young all over again.
Right.
He needs the ball in his hand. He likes to create his own offense. He stops. Ball goes to him. The ball stops. Well, the ball goes to Trae.
Yeah.
Trey's a much better passer. He's a much better facilitator. So I think it's good that they move him, but depends on what we get back.
Trae Young makes the
Makes the All-Star team.
by default.
You know what?
That's how funny that is, though.
It is.
I mean,
It's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. I mean,
think
by default.
27 points, 10 assists per game, and he has to be voted in by the commissioner.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was
Ridiculous.
I was one of the 5th grade spelling bee runner-ups in elementary school.
Yeah.
And only the champion and the first runner-up get to go to the state. And they,
Did somebody get the sniffles or something?
yeah, and I got the phone call. And I was like, "Nah, thanks." I mean, why?
I'm not going.
I'm not.
I can't
Why would I
win.
do that? You know what I mean? Anyway,
Right. I don't want a participation trophy.
speaking of the Celtics, there's this new sitcom out, and I just find this absolutely hilarious. John Cryer is on this new sitcom, and it's called Extended Family. And it's basically about a family of divorce, but they think they're going to crush divorce, that it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and they're going to still be best friends. And they don't go and live in separate houses and take their kids with them. They got a boy and a girl. They stay in the house that they kept.
Yeah.
And it's like the nest. And then they go and have their own separate houses, so they live together in the nest.
That's wild.
And so the kids stay there; they never get. So they're trying to do everything they can. Well, anyway, so there's this gentleman. I can't remember what shows he's in, but his name's Donald Faison. But you'd know who he was if you looked him up. But he's the owner of the Celtics in the show, and John Cryer's wife that
cool.
he divorced. She's a fixer. So, like, if a corporate guy does something completely wrong and they crawled under a rock, she's the one that gets them out of trouble. Like, she's a fixer. And so what happened is this guy, the owner of the Celtics, when he came up the owner of it, all of these people were, like, whining and crying about the Celtics. And he said something to the fact of, they need to stop being, they're like the redheaded stepchildren of the NBA right now. And he goes, so the reason why I needed to get her to fix this is apparently... I completely blasted my entire Irish heritage of the Celtics because they're all redheaded, and apparently they are not as likely to stay together. So there's a bunch of stepchildren. He's like, so I needed her to come in and help fix the whole situation. I'm like, they're just the redheaded stepchild of the NBA. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But anyway, I thought that was funny.
That's funny. That's awesome. Oops.
Yeah. But anyway, so the we got Raheem Morris's presser that came out. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Even the fact of the matter of coming out throughout after the presser that maybe the Falcons Arthur Blank had maybe kind of sort of rumored that Bill Belichick got an offer and said, nah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyway, Raheem's presser was really good. It was enthusiastic, passionate. You kept mentioning kind of, being back home again.
Yep. No, it was really awesome.
He's definitely, I see him, Fontenoy, working very well together. It was very buzzword worthy.
Yeah.
Said all the right things.
A lot of great sound bites.
And it does not make any difference unless he gets a quarterback.
Yep.
And unless he basically gets some structure to that defense.
None
of it's going to matter. All the fans are going to turn on him. But right now, I think there's this period of, it's a honeymoon period. People are happy. Yep. He's a great guy. He's a family guy.
Yep.
I think he fits really well with I don't know, trying to create the right culture. I think there's been 1,000 coaches we've had trying to do that. So, it's going to be interesting to see what he does. But he's gotten a lot of love from other, GMs, other coaches, other players. He's a great coach, so we'll see what happens.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It was awesome. It was awesome to watch. It was one of those let's get behind him moments.
I was excited after the presser.
It was really, really good. But then for them to come out afterwards and go and maybe Belichick got the bid.
Yeah,
we still don't know if it's 100% accurate. But I mean, the fact that these people are saying it.
Yeah, I read an article that basically stated that through some NFL stuff that we did make Belichick an offer, but I don't think it was rubber stamped. It was kind of like, well, here's what we're thinking, and what are you thinking? And then it was like, well, we don't really like what you're thinking. And again, talking about changing the whole way that you do business, bring in Bill Belichick. Falcons probably could have used that. Hindsight 2020, it is what it is. Go Raheem. Go Coach Rock. Let's do it.
Yeah, our boys at Out of Your Falcon Minds podcast last night, it was awesome. I mean, so definitely check them out. There was a whole thing about Raheem Morris and coming home, and so they're going to talk about the whole thing. So
hard not to cheer for the guy and be in his corner.
Right.
But again, it's about what do we do on the field.
Right. Yeah. And until they get a quarterback, that's going to be the issue. So I have seen a lot of birds of prey.
Uh-huh.
I've seen them, like videos of them coming down and with talons and like, let's get but I've never seen an animal like flat out like tailspin, like fall down from the sky.
Uh-huh.
But apparently owls do that.
The owls are doing that.
The KSU Owls.
What is going on?
What is happening, man? I mean, we're at the games, and it's just like
a miracle beyond miracle. The Bellarmine game. We're on ESPN. We're in the highlight.
I mean,
this team literally had won 5 games all year, 1 win in conference. Comes into the Convo, which is the Convocation Center, which is where KSU plays.
The Convo.
Matt and I are right there. We're going crazy. I was hoarse afterward.
Everybody's leaving, and we go into overtime.
The Owls are down by 7 with 1:40 to play. The Owls take the lead by 2.
Yep.
And this is in overtime.
Yeah.
It's already in overtime. And then they hit a miracle 3 at the buzzer to beat us, and it was just unreal. And we followed that up with another complete clunker against the number 1 team in the conference at home.
Right.
But now we're on the road. We're playing. But
should have won.
Should have won that game. And now we're playing Austin P on the road tonight, 8:00 for you Owls fans that are out there. I mean, I don't know what's happened. I mean, Damon Robinson, our center, is just not playing very well. No one's shooting the ball good. Cottle's not shooting it well. Burden's the only one that's playing halfway decent. And we're not going to make it back to the NCAA tournament with the way we're playing right now. I mean, I think we're below 500 in the conference. We're preseason ranked number 1. So, we're in a tailspin. Now, how does Coach Petway turn these guys around and get them moving back in the right direction?
Right.
That's what we're going to find out. Good news for KSU, though, is football's early signing day just came out. And It's the best recruiting class that the football team has ever had. They actually got a 4-star. They got a bunch of 3-star recruits, and they're going to need them.
They are going to need them.
They're moving over to Conference USA next year, so I'm excited to see what they do.
I don't know if we're going to win many games, but it's going to be the recruiting class is great.
We're not.
Good.
But we were it's kind of funny because we were super blessed with when we came into FCS and in the conference that we were playing in the Big South. Man, we looked really good there for a few years. I mean, but as we've started to get better and play better competition, we're starting to lose. So it's definitely a step back to make a step forward. But I love Bohannon.
Yeah.
I have so much faith in him and Overton and those guys. They are going to make this team really good. The university's first class.
It's amazing.
We're going to continue to get really good recruits, and I'm very excited to see what we're able to do. And if the offense gets modified a little bit, all that stuff. There's been some coaches kind of influx and whatever, but it's exciting time. We're
our
moving
number
to
one
D1.
QB got a little bit of a promotion, so he's like a co-offensive coordinator, which is awesome.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Which is really great. And Chandler Burks, I believe, is still on staff, and some of the guys that we kind of, I don't know, I would say grew up watching.
It was that guy. I can't even remember his name. And Chandler Burks together
I think that's phenomenal. Yeah. And it's great to see guys that played for the team in the program making their move up,
which speaks a lot. I mean, if you've played in the program and you come back, I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Or never leave in his case. I mean, he basically, I think he just got his degree or finished up or whatever and just started coaching. So awesome for him.
Yeah, but they the Hawks aren't the only ones, and the KSU Owls aren't the only ones that have their woes. Our Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, man,
boy,
they beat UNC, all right, and then they come and the Wake Forest game was just terrible. And what is it that he comes out and the coach says, well, the only thing that I can say is that just we weren't prepared, or we didn't have the, what did he say? We didn't have the
I think
whatever.
Stoudemire was trying to, fall on the sword for the players.
Right.
Look, I like Damon Stoudemire. That guy
is class act.
He knows players.
Yep.
And he is going to turn that team around. I mean, I think I read something where Krzyzewski, his first 2 or 3 years at Duke, they were horrible. I mean, I'm not saying that Stoudemire's Krzyzewski, but I'm saying you got to give him time.
Right.
Give him time to get out there, recruit, bring in his own players. But, man, that was his bet. I'm talking shots that were hitting the backboard. It looked like a 7th grade, rec game.
Right.
And just didn't score for, I think we scored how many points in the first half? Like 15?
Yeah.
I'm like, how does that even happen? You can't score a point a minute?
Right.
That's just absolutely pathetic.
It's bad.
And at some point, it's the talent. It's on the players.
Right.
It's not on the coach. You can have, John Wood out there coaching that team. They go win.
Ain't gonna happen.
So anyway, Texas in kind of an interesting place, but I look for them to really get better next year. They've got a couple of good recruits coming in, so I think they're going to be fine.
No, they do. But yeah,
I just don't see. It's crazy. I don't see how, Georgia Tech beats North Carolina. Georgia Tech beats Duke.
Right.
But then North Carolina turned around and lost to Clemson the other night at home.
What's happening there?
So that is the second time. And since Clemson and North Carolina have been in the ACC together, that Clemson's won in Chapel Hill. The all-time record is 2-60.
Seriously,
they are 2-60 against UNC.
And North Carolina's still number 3 in AP.
Yes,
right?
Yes, and I think they'll drop a little bit. But I also look at Clemson's lost a lot of close games. They're a very, very good team.
Right.
PJ Hall is an All-American.
Right.
They got Shefflin. Their guards are all pretty good. They got Gerard, who's played at Syracuse. They got a good squad. But you got to get up for them. Right. You're at home. You just beat Duke. Get up, and they weren't ready to play.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty excited about. We're sports fans, so March Madness, man. It's just what's
coming.
It gets exciting. We're still watching. You get to the point now where if you are a March Madness tournament fan, you start watching games that you've never watched before.
We still got to do the Super Bowl squares, though.
We do need to do the Super Bowl squares.
Just whatever. We've kind of forgot about that. But you're absolutely right. March Madness is the greatest thing ever. The brackets, it's really fun.
But we were watching Georgia.
But it's a lot more fun when you've got KSU, Tech,
no, it's true.
North Carolina. You've got some teams that you're familiar with and it looks like for me, it's only going to be UNC.
Who was the guy we were talking about last night over at Georgetown? What's his name?
Oh.
What was that guy's name?
So I'm watching the I think it was
Georgetown.
Georgetown and Seton Hall game last night. And Seton Hall won.
That's what I'm saying. You start watching
shows.
you start watching games that you've never watched
Right.
before.
I just want to, like, it was just on. I'm like, I just want to see if these teams are any good. Old Big East teams. I like to see if they're any good.
Was it like Showtime something? What was the guy's name?
His name was Supreme Cook.
Supreme Cook.
And I've never seen this guy play before. And he was not a bad player.
Right.
And he goes up in the lane and he gets fouled. And they're like, foul on Highsmith against Cook. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Cook.
And then he goes to the line and he's like taking his dribbles, and they put the graphic up. It's like Supreme Cook.
What a name. I mean,
I'm
that's
like,
a name.
That's
a name.
phenomenal. It's
That's
kind of
a
like
name.
Kool-Aid or whatever's kind of good.
Supreme Cook.
And, of course, he missed both free throws. But anyway,
Whatever.
I thought it was kind of funny.
That's
but it is fun to watch all the other conferences
games
and teams
going on.
just to see, like, who's going to be that little
Underdog,
dark horse
yeah.
you've got. Yeah,
That's
kind of
awesome.
fun. But, yeah,
else?
I mean, that's it. I mean, the only other thing I think of note is just what's been going on. And I know that, we've got a lot of listeners that love to play golf.
Yeah, of course.
And this whole Live versus PGA thing. I mean, Rory McIlroy coming out in the press and all of a sudden doing a complete and total 180. Maybe there should be a pathway back for the Live players, and maybe we should consider letting them come in and letting them play whatever tournaments they want.
Come on, man.
You talk about an absolute backslider.
Yeah.
I mean, look, in my opinion, this is my opinion. And guess what? This is my show.
This is it.
The guys that go over for Live, it's blood money.
Yes.
I mean,
they
people
know
talk
the
about,
deal.
And I read this thing the other day. This guy was talking about, like, it's nothing. It's totally different than what, it's the same as what they did for Tiger Woods. The PGA did for Tiger Woods because they whitewashed his past. He cheated on his wife and he was on drugs. And I'm like, no. The PGA Tour wasn't founded by a regime that murders people.
Correct.
Namely Americans.
Yeah.
Namely, right there in charge of 9/11. Secondarily,
blood money.
Treat women like dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not the same deal at all.
Nope.
And the group that's actually put together this $3 billion to inject into the PGA Tour, this SSG group, they're NFL and like NHL owners.
Right.
They're not blood money barons over in the Middle East. And all these guys whining from the Live. I just want Joaquin Neiman won the event this past weekend, and they interview him, and he's supposed to be excited because guess what? He just won a Live event. Ooh,
yeah.
How prestigious, right? And all he talks about the whole time is, but it doesn't get me in majors. Oh, I know, but I want to play in the majors.
So what?
Too bad.
Yeah, that's
this
all
is
your fault.
This is the consequence. There were meeting after meeting after meeting from the PGA guys going, if you make this move, there's going to be consequences. You're probably not going to be able to play in all the majors.
Yeah.
And the guys took the money and ran, and now they're all whining about it. Get over it. Be adults. You made a decision.
Yeah, there was an old acronym joke of what golf actually stands for, which is why the Saudis got into it, was golf gentlemen only, ladies forbidden.
Right. And boy, let me tell you something. That's true over there.
Yeah, they do not care at all.
I ended up watching a little bit of the Live tournament on Sunday. Man, it's just not for me. I just absolutely hate it. I think the whole thing's cheesy.
Yeah.
There's music blaring all over the place. My wife, who doesn't even watch golf, is walking by and she's like, "What are you watching?"
Correct.
It's like, there's some kind of like techno special or something. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
These are golfers on a golf course playing golf. There might have been 3,000 people there, maybe. I think I read that there was 400,000 people that watched it, up from 200,000 last year. That's only more people watched the third round of the Pebble Beach Classic where Clark shot a 60 than watched the Live event.
Right.
Anyway, if you like Live, good for you.
For you.
I think it's trash.
Yeah, I think it's garbage.
Moving right along.
Yeah, but that's enough. Enough of that. We got a big thing going on Sunday, bro. The Swifter Bowl is on.
Swifter Bowl.
The Swifter Bowl is on its way.
What a great opportunity for Swifter to come and actually sponsor this Super Bowl. I don't know if they are or not, but they should. If there's not a Swifter or Swifty or something commercial, I'll be surprised.
Swifty on it. Yeah, so she's got, again, we talked about it last week because of Maria. She's like, hey, so what do you think about it? But I mean, coming over from Asia from her tour to get here in enough time to be able to see the whole thing. I'm just like, whatever. That's what it is. It's all about Swift.
I am not into her music at all.
Couldn't begin to tell you.
I just don't know anything about her, and it's just not my stuff. It's not my kind of music. But when Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs went up and sang Fast Car together at the Grammys, which was, by the way, if you have not watched that, you need to watch it. It was a seminal American moment to me. She's standing there, front row, singing right along, all into it.
Yep.
She is into others being better.
Correct.
And I think that's phenomenal.
She's a great person.
She just won.
Just let the NFL be the NFL, bro.
I know, but it's not her fault.
I know it's not. I know it's not.
It's like, hey, I'm a famous person. I'm at a game. Travis Kelce is my boyfriend. I mean,
get it. It is not her fault.
She's not trying to do anything to promote herself. She's just there.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
But she's into other people's music. She's all about getting it better. And she was on the front row getting it done. Yeah. She was getting it done, man.
And the first performer of all time to win Album of the Year for Midnights.
Yep.
4 times.
4 times.
Which, that's pretty astonishing when you think about everybody that's been around and in and been eligible for Album of the Year at the Grammys since the 70s.
Right.
That's pretty astonishing.
No, it's
pretty
great.
Amazing. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I think the other thing to speak on, and either people are talking about, again, because it's not her fault, but I mean, like, now there's conversation of, well, is there going to be a special guest at the halftime show with Usher? And I'm like, leave Usher alone, because I'm gonna be jamming out to every single song from that fool during the halftime show.
I just want to watch Usher perform. I mean, you and I are old school, way back,
no doubt.
Atlanta boys.
I know, man. I cannot wait. Dude. I don't know how. I want to know how many songs he's going to do.
I may send my children out of the room,
bro. But here's
don't bother me.
Even if Taylor Swift does jump out and start singing, I mean, I'm not going to be mad about it. I mean, like, whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
No, but I mean, I just think of all the people that he could bring on.
Anybody,
like any of the old Atlanta schools, maybe
anybody.
Maybe we have a little Andre 3000 cameo, or somebody else. Ludacris comes out, does. I mean, it would be cool for it to be kind of an Atlanta flavor.
It would be,
but if it was just all Usher, fine by me.
It'd be awesome.
That'd be good.
I was watching on Facebook. There's like this whole entire. I don't know if anybody else's feed is on this, but going to the old Bless Your Heart Boys, side of blessing your heart and being down into the South and everything else. I don't know who's doing the Star Spangled Banner. Who's singing? Who's singing the national anthem?
Does anybody know? If you're listening to this, comment. I don't even know.
I have no idea. But there's this whole entire thing that's going on that says, with everything that I could muster within me, as nice as I possibly can, just sing it like you learned it when you were in elementary school.
I know, man.
Like, don't do all the riffs and things. Think about a World War II vet that is standing there with his hand over his heart and just sing it for them. Just do it.
Even when Santana and like Joe Satriani and those guys did it on guitar.
Right.
They still were pretty much along the lines of the actual song. So even if it's an instrumental,
correct.
It could be. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But if you sing it, let's don't add a bunch of bars.
Yeah.
Let's don't break it down. Yeah. Let's don't show your range. Let's just sing the song the way it's meant to be sang, and let's get off the stage.
I don't know if it's ever been said, but I was sitting there when I was reading all of that last night. I was just reading through. I mean, I saw it like 3 different times. It's a pretty long dissertation on like why you shouldn't do it or whatever it may be. But I think that we've gotten to the place of the Star Spangled Banner. We have looked at it as the star, and it's all about them. And it's not. It's about the Spangled Banner.
Right on.
And so, let's
totally.
not. That's
the one thing.
That's the one thing.
It's reverence.
Yeah.
You sing it the way it's supposed to be.
It's not about the star. It's about the Spangled Banner.
Correct.
And
That's
so let's
awesome.
just let's figure that out. But anyway,
are we ready for everybody to get off our lawn now? Is that where we're at?
I might be. I'm not sure. Yeah, but that's just where I stand, and I know a lot of other people stand with it. So I'm excited about it. But Super Bowl, it's gonna be good. And speaking of the Swifter Bowl and Taylor Swift, what is her tour called?
I think it's the Eras Tour.
The Eras Tour? Okay. Well, in a great segue, let's go about and let's talk about the new eras.
Oh, new era.
The new eras. We'll get off the Eras Tour.
Have we pretty much hit them up on every podcast? Tag
we missed
them.
the last.
Okay,
well, we did Christmas.
We will double tag them on this
double,
because,
the double tap.
We love new era. We are just looking for this is our spread the love month.
Yeah,
right? Share the love.
Share the love.
We want a little bit of love from New Era. Just something like say, hey, how's it going, guys, or something.
The Valentine's Day collection is fire. Let's be honest.
Oh my goodness,
it's fire.
Man, if I didn't have so many hats,
I know
I could buy this is Me just being honest.
But you
it's
have
the
to-
gospel truth. I could buy a hat every day.
I'm with you.
I literally could own 1,000 hats right now.
Right.
And then Valentine's Day, the Braves one,
There would be
oh
James
my-
sitting by himself with just his hats. His family has packed up and they've
gone.
moved. That's what would
Where
happen.
do you live? In my hat collection.
But here's the thing. Like, I look at, we need to go on Instagram and find some of these folks. Because, even the number of hats that we have from New Era, there's always somebody else.
oh, no,
that's
there's
a
people
little
out
bit.
there that have.
It's insane.
I had somebody comment.
And that's what I can remind my wife of. Like, I'm not the worst.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah, not even close.
But I've actually had people send me, like, now that we've kind of got a little bit of a following, like, well, these aren't the guys. These aren't the hats. This brand is better, and
No.
this brand is better, and this. No,
They're not.
Not possible.
Not
I don't
even close.
care. New Era is it. There is nothing else to me.
Nope.
That's it.
No, but New Era, we love you. We'd love some love. Share the love.
Will you be our Valentine, New Era?
Will you be my Valentine?
That'd be great.
That would be awesome. Well, Valentine's Day collection's fire. New Era is awesome. We got the Super Bowl. That's it for the week, man. We'll come back next week. I would say that the merch store, make sure that you click the link on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram bio, like, subscribe, follow, do all the things. Share the love this month.
That's right.
For us. Next week, we'll talk about a few more things. This episode, I would have to say, is sponsored by Standout Resources Group, professional and executive recruitment.
That's
we
what
connect
we do.
people in business.
Yes, we do.
So check us out, standoutresources.com. Check out the merch store, like, subscribe, do all the fun things, and we will come back at you next week. Another episode number 13. Lucky number 13.
Full force, and we definitely want to hear about your Valentine's Day experience. We definitely want to hear what you thought about the Super Bowl. I would love to hear about what was your favorite commercial.
Yep.
What was the coolest?
We're going to have a lot to talk about next
A lot
week.
of stuff. There's probably going to be a few other little gadgets and gimmicks or whatever that's done.
Yeah.
What did you think about the Swifty Bowl?
I love
Let's
it.
see.
I love it. All right, everybody. Until next week. See you then.
Take care, Milltown.